So today we're going to do a walk-around inspection. We're not going to show you lights working,
No,
because there is none. But I think we can talk Timothy into squeezing in this car one more time. Maybe show you a startup on it. But we do a little bit different of a test drive, and that's why Tyler's in the video with me today, going over the walk-around. We both got too pumped up on adrenaline and we forgot that the camera was on us inside the cabin of the car. So you'll see us driving the car, but we're too excited. Yeah, we don't talk at all. No. It's like not at all, but you do get to see Tyler smile. He's got a pretty nice smile, especially when he's doing his second lap. So on this 2004 NASCAR. So it is a retired NASCAR.
an actual race car.
An actual race car, yeah. The car actually saw the track. Was driven by Greg Biffle under the number 16 and
In the 2004
race season, yeah. Which Greg Biffle did have. He had a couple years where he was, or 1 year where he was a NASCAR Busch Series champion, NASCAR was a Craftsman Truck Series champion, and he was, I think that was 2002.
Was the Truck Series.
2000, and then a couple years before that, he was actually the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Rookie of the Year, and he was 1 year he was the NASCAR Busch Rookie of the Year, the Busch Series Rookie of the Year. So in 2004, he had 3 podium finishes,
2 wins and a 3rd place podium.
Yeah, so we weren't able to get the documentation from Roush Fenway whether this is the car that made those podium wins, but that information that we have that the car was a 2004 was from Roush Fenway. And then we also got the information that in 2006, after the car was retired, it became a show car, and it actually was reskinned as the Fusion and relabeled as the Mark Martin number 6 Viagra car, and then taken to and put on display at one of the Roush Fenway's offices. And then it was later then reskinned as, not skinned, but rewrapped as
Matt Kenseth number 17 Crown Royal.
Yes. So, which this wrap is a really pretty wrap. I think this color,
heavy metallic flake purple.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
car really looks good. Yes. But so on the car still retains, to the best of our knowledge, the drivetrain that the car raced with. It has been detuned slightly. It's got a lot smaller carburetor. They did take the belt off the cooler on the rear differential. Other than that, it looks pretty unmolested. Still retains the NASCAR seals on the gas tank.
And the car is fully operational.
It is.
And we'll show you that, and you'll kind of cut to the video of showing Dad and I driving the car. We did take it out. We didn't drive it to the extent that this car is capable of. Obviously, you're limited with that carburetor on it, but we were able to take a couple slow laps around a small racetrack locally.
Yeah, but you get to see the car actually being used, being worked. But you'll hear us. It takes a little bit to get used to the car. It hits the rev limiter real quick. It's starting for fuel with that smaller carburetor, but it still runs great. I mean, the car, we have no problems getting the car started every time we want to start it.
It's intoxicating. The sounds this car makes, the smell of the race fuel. I mean, even if you're not going fast, even just moving it around the parking lot, you just get jacked up. I mean, you're driving a NASCAR. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
It's like every kid's dream. But
yeah.
even if you wanted it for like advertising use, I mean, yeah, I mean the car is gorgeous. It looks awesome.
So we're going to walk around the car a little bit, go over the condition of it, just real quick. So the body panels all over the car are in excellent condition.
Absolutely.
There's no cracks in the body panels anywhere. The decals are in excellent condition. The paint's in excellent condition, but we'll go over that. The tires are a little bit of a different story. It's one of the reasons why we didn't push the car real hard. The tires do have quite a bit of age. If you're showing the car, they're in great condition for that.
Yeah.
But if you're planning on driving the car, you're going to want to consider getting new tires. So we'll go around the car just slowly.
And there is a little, the comp cams sticker does have a little spot that's kind of rubbed off. You do have a little scuff down below. The car's not perfect, but still presents awesome. There is a little bit of a chip right here, right at the edge of the wheel well. But front splitter's in excellent condition with no cracks. It is two-piece.
We do have a little scratch there. Across the hood, it's in excellent condition. I don't remember any flaws on the hood. And these safety flaps are operational. We'll show you the ones on the front. Plexiglass windshield's in very good condition.
Nice and clear.
There are some light scratches in it in various spots, but very clear and very easy to see through.
I will say the lower molding on the passenger side of the car does have a couple rivets that have pulled. So this panel does have a little bit of a loose spot here, but that can be easily remedied by putting new rivets in. There is a small little stone chip in the number 7 here. But the roof is excellent. There is a little, when we get to that side, there is a little black marking on a couple of the white letters.
And these panels do.
All your flaps are nice and functional.
Both sides, they do function. Now, the plexiglass here on the side vents, there's some stress and age cracking in that plexiglass, but they're both very intact. Everything's...
There is a small stone chip here just above those windows. And it does appear we have a rivet missing at the bottom of the plexiglass.
Looks like we do have a small, about 1/4 inch scuff in the Crown Royal sticker. Across the deck lid, excellent condition. Rear spoilers in very good condition, not dented. There's a little bit of chipping, some paint loss across the very edges of it, but it's in very good condition.
And across what would be the rear bumper, there is a little scratching here at the very back end, but it's still very presentable.
Other than that, the back end of the car is in excellent condition.
There's not a whole lot to look at in the trunk area, but I can go ahead and show you what's in there. As soon as Dave gets a little bit. See.
So as you can see, the body panels and everything are straight.
Yeah, not a whole lot of molestation back here. Still have your inline fuel pump.
And no signs of any accidents on the car. The frame's all straight. And back on the fuel tank, it still retains the NASCAR seals from its last inspection.
So it just goes to show that that hasn't been tampered with. The car's chassis number was originally JR93. Of course, JR stands for Jack Roush, owner of Roush Racing, before they became Roush Fenway. The car in 2006, when it was reskinned for show, did receive a new chassis tag, which I believe is RK60.
RK060599.
Yeah.
So it still retains the NASCAR fuel fill, and everything functions like it should. This quarter is in excellent condition. Not really seeing any flaws to note. Actually, across the driver's side of the car, it's
In excellent condition.
yeah.
Very few defects.
Yeah. There is some very slight warpage down here in the lower trim, which, you know, on a NASCAR, not too concerned about. There's a light scuff here, maybe one up here.
But if you
Pretty
pan
clean.
into the interior, you guys see all your switches are still intact, gauges, tack, and the all. As far as I know, as far as I noticed, all the gauges work.
And I feel bad because I should have paid attention too, and I
Yeah,
don't know that I paid attention.
Everything that I paid attention to worked. But I know the tack works. I know your temps and all that work. Then the seat, yeah, obviously built for Greg Biffle, a much smaller gentleman than either Dad or I. So you'll kind of see in the video that we're kind of scrunched in there, being over 200 pound, 6 feet tall gentleman.
But it still retains the seat belt. Still retains the
Safety net.
safety net for the window. And go underneath the hood.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tyler, you want to show them that just that discoloration on the roof?
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna get the steering wheel for later. But yeah, on the roof you're kind of seeing the letters. There is a little bit of discoloration in a couple of the numbers. Nothing major, just something to point out.
So under hood, this is some of the best part. You can see an easy way to see the frame and how it's constructed, and it's a true NASCAR. Looking underneath it, the frame and suspension on this car is impressive. So,
And what's nice, even though this car was used for show later in its life, this car was constructed for racing. So if you do want to put the bigger carburetor back on it and get this thing set up to run again, you can. The engine's healthy,
yeah.
runs just like it should. The chassis is set up for a race. You do have the Bilstein shocks. All your safety tethers are intact. So yeah, if that is how you want to do, and you easily can, which would be a lot of fun.
So now, if we can talk Timothy and get in the car, we'll show you the start process. How we start the car. Timothy's the easiest one to get in and out of it. I don't think he's going to complain getting into the car again.
Not too much.
No. So once he gets in, we'll have him put the steering wheel on, and then we'll go over the switches, which switches that need to be turned on to get the car started and driving.
And there he is.
And we did, when we test drove the car, we were able to get it in all 4 gears and reverse. So we know that all 4 gears work properly. It does not pop out of gear. It doesn't do anything funny. Actually, the motor doesn't smoke at all.
No.
I mean, for a 20-year-old NASCAR engine, it's incredibly tight.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, once again, turn this back into a weekend warrior race car for yourself.
I mean, you're definitely going to want to go through it though and just double check like brake
Brakes.
lines, fuel lines, and all that kind of stuff.
Pads.
And your safety stuff. Be smart. Don't just buy the car, throw it on the track, and which I think you'd be okay. I didn't feel anything that felt soft.
No.
So Timothy's got it in neutral, of course.
But
And then we'll go over the switches, Tyler.
yeah, absolutely. So you'll see we have your master switch, which you'll want to flip on. Your engine switch. Turn on your ignition. And then Anthony, give it a pump. Or Timothy. I called you Anthony again. Timothy. And then we will go ahead and just like that.
working, your oil pressure gauge is working, the volt, the charging gauge is working. Our temperatures are showing 0, but the car's ice cold. Rev it up just a little bit. The bag gauge just seems to be
the vacuum gauge.
They're pulling in that fresh air for the driver, so it's not air conditioning.
Right.
But
it's got an awesome sound. That awesome. Yeah. Again, just absolutely intoxicating noise of a NASCAR. As loud as you'd expect.
I don't know if Tyler talked about it too, but that smell of that racing fuel.
Oh yeah.
So if you're in the market for a NASCAR and retired NASCAR for advertising, a little bit of weekend warrior fun racing, you know, it's a rock solid example of a retired NASCAR, you know.
Yeah. So whether it's advertising or racetrack, it's definitely one you want to take a close look at. Top side, bottom side, it's the real deal. Don't miss your chance to own a legit NASCAR. Rock Solid Motorsports.
Yeah, Rock Solid Motorsports.